And welcome everybody. A wacky Monday. It's been crazy day, and we'll tell you why here in a little bit. Hey, also getting ready to have on Michael Shepard for the first time with TIC Treasure Investments Corporation, and Michael will join us live from Nashville. I think he's in Nashville. I don't think he's in Vegas today, but we'll talk to him about best way to invest with fine, priceless art, and they have it, and it's some neat stuff. Want to show it all to you. Of course, Treasure Investments Corporation, our newest sponsor, but also, of course, you see I'm wearing the insignia hat from a good friend Karen Johnson, and you can get hold of her. You want to put together your uniforms for your teams and travel, football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, tennis, volleyball, cheerleading, all of that. Parents want to get jerseys made, replica jerseys, all that. Karen can help you at Karen Key Largo on Twitter. And hey, there's my buddy Jason joining us right now, getting his boomer sooner in. Good stuff. Appreciate that. Scott Hammer going to join us here a little bit later, as well, not today, but later in the week. He is our official vacation guy. You want to take a vacation, you get hold of Scott. He'll take care of you in Orem, Utah. And of course, Helping Hands, Ray of Sunshine with mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, get a little older, want to stay in their house, can't by themselves, need a little help. Helping Hands, Ray of Sunshine will do that. Alan Cashman, of course, we have him on every Friday, and cashmanwins.com. He wins. That's why we have him on. And of course, DoorDash and Wendy's are corporate sponsors. They keep my belly going. That was my belly you heard. That was an audio. Okay. Uh, let's see. Hall of Fame College Football Podcast. Of course, you can watch Jason in the group. Man, they do some. They do some great. So many guys. So many. The minds. The football minds. It just blows me away. But says, glad you started the show. Well, I am too, Jason, but I'm having some technical issues, man. I need you to come up Stilly one day and help me out. If you can stand coming up Stilly, I can stand having you on, helping me out on some of this technical stuff. I've got like $1,500 worth of stuff set up, and I don't know how to do it. I've been trying, Jason. Help me out here, bud. Uh, so thanks for that. Oh, I guess the compliment. Yeah. Hey, if you guys have watched the Hall of Fame College Football podcast, you already know what I'm talking about. You already know. It's good. It's really good. It's got Coach on there and got some other guys on there as well. Good stuff. And yeah, Jason, good guy. Just reach for that other school. Can't have everything, right? Where would you put it? Jason and I have a good little friendly rivalry going. Okay, conference realignment. What y'all want to talk about? And here's the latest today. There is no latest, but it's still going on. Clemson, Florida State, they've already been very, yeah, you need more visits from Sway. I'll be glad to visit, my friend. Would be glad to visit anytime, although my football team sucks, so I don't have anything to brag about. Sorry. Yeah, my football team. My alma mater's not doing too hot in football. May need to talk about coaching changes, at least on the offensive line and the offensive coordinator spot. But yeah, I'd love to visit. Matter of fact, Jason knows I check in from time to time on chat. Chat's the way to go. Greg Gluck says, "Well, we know WSU's fate." Well, here's the deal. They're going to get some money from this lawsuit with the Pac-12. How much is it? Is it enough where they could, kind of skate by for a couple years, be in the Big 12 without the Big 12 having to pay them? If they can get that done, it'll get done. because I mean, Wazoo and the Beavers aren't gonna, they're not gonna want to be in the G5. They're not. They're gonna lose coaches. They're gonna lose players. Basically, start from square one, even if they got back in the P5 later on. So, but what's gonna happen there? Um, yeah, I don't think the TV people want to, whether or not, want to be seen as responsible for the demise of Washington State and Oregon State. Particularly, they're both top 25 teams, doing really well right now, and let's figure out a way to get them in the Big 12. I think would be the best way, right? I think that'd be best for everybody right now. The other thing that's happening, obviously, on the other coast, on the East Coast, with the ACC, you've got two schools who've been very open about wanting to leave, and of course, that would that would be Florida State, Clemson, and you can understand it. I know other ACC schools are going, no, 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 they're just snobs, or no, they've been carrying. I mean, I think Florida State has a national championship, and trying to think how many Clemson has, two maybe in this century. So, um, yeah, those are good programs. I think they're great for the Big 12. I think they have ag schools. They're more of a cultural fit. Curtis asking Army to the American. Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. Look, the military schools are obviously a different animal, but they're wanted for obvious reasons. It's a good fit. It's a good fit for your conference to get one of the service academies in there. So, yeah, I think the American will definitely try to get Army in there. Uh, you can jump in on the chat line as well. Hey, I want to tell you about our friends at DoorDash and of course Wendy's. It's kind of a deal with us. We've got some things worked out with them. We're 2 o'clock in the morning, and I got a deadline going, and I need coffee and I need food. Hey, I just go to DoorDash, say, hey, my regular at Wendy's, and it happens. So good stuff. Thank those folks as well. The Hall of Fame Football Podcast. My man Jason says agreed. Wazoo and Oregon State a better fit for the Big 12 than they were in the Pac. Agreed. And they've been in the Pac a long, long time too. So, reminder here in a little bit, Treasure Investment Corporation, Michael Shepard will join us, and we'll talk about all the great things they've got. I'm already talking to some friends over at the Cowboy Hall of Fame because the artwork these folks do is incredible, just absolutely incredible. And we'll show some. Some of it's already on Twitter and our Facebook page, so go check it out there. Yeah, Scott Hammer as well, big BYU guy. He'll after their games, he'll put pictures of them and stuff on that. Scott Hammer is our official vacation guy. Get hold of Scott. Tell him you're buddies with me. You heard about him on the show, and you want to go on vacation? Yeah, he'll take care of you. 513 Bearcat says coaching realignment for Gundy. Ooh, could be, could be. I think Mike's going to step down. I do. I just think he's tired of. A lot of coaches are. They'll stick around, but man, this NIL and coaching for excuse me, the transfer portal and NIL combined have really put a sour taste in a lot of coaches' mouths who weren't that into recruiting in the first place. So interesting stuff there. Uh, what did you think about college football over the weekend? Who were some surprised? West Virginia is shocking the crap out of me. I mean, who saw this coming with West Virginia? I sure didn't. I definitely did not. Yeah, Neil Brown's probably saved his job. A couple more wins. They get in a bowl. I tell you, a guy who hadn't saved his job though, and He's going to need an upset Friday night. It's Mike Gundy for sure. Uh, oh man, Mike, I've been behind you. I've been behind you, man, all these years since you were a freshman. Since that Houston game when Pat Jones was so upset with Ronnie Williams, you want to see a freshman play? We're going to put this freshman in right now. True freshman Mike Gundy, and he never looked back. And Mike's been a huge turnaround of the program, obviously as a coach, as a player, and you got to give it up to him. But he is just not adjusted. You've got to adjust, and no matter how stupid the rules are, right? You got to play by the rules that everybody picked, and whew, I don't know. Yeah, BYU's better we thought. Uh, the Buccaneers, almost some Buccaneers, Mountaineers, better than everybody thought. Yeah, Jason says he's in his 50s and acting like he's in his late 70s. Good grief. Adapt or die. No, it is. It is what it is. I mean, for instance, your team, Jason, the Sooners, they're going into a conference that's second to none. Now, maybe not depth wise, but at the top. And now you got Mississippi going maybe the right direction. A&M's playing a little better. That conference is going to be brutal. But you know that going in, right? And Mike Gundy knew 2 years ago, whether he liked it or not, NIL was here to stay. The transfer portal's here to stay. Now I don't like all the rules. Man, transfer portal especially, I would like it just fine if you could transfer, but I don't think you should transfer in conference, and I don't think you should transfer be able to play right away. I just I'm not a fan of that. The one thing about college that I always liked so much more than the pros, you didn't have to worry about your favorite player just pick it up and go into your rival, right? And if they did, it would be because they got paid really well, and it would be because it was a good fit for them. In this case, no. I'm now we've got free agency every year in college, not just 4, 5, 6 years down the road. Every single year, everybody is a free agent. I'm just not a fan of that. Yeah, Jason, not a fan of the portal either. The issue he has, the rules aren't the same for everybody. No, they're not. They never really have been. And since I've been doing recruiting since 1988, I can tell you this has always gone on. I mean, players have always gotten paid. It just wasn't up so up front. It wasn't handled by coalitions. It wasn't handled by the fans. At least it wasn't supposed to be, but it was. Cougar Track says, I don't know what it is, but I can't hear you. I'll keep checking back. Yeah, I did not get my guy in. We couldn't get him at the same time I was. Cougar Tracks. Hope this helps a little bit. But yeah, I think everybody can hear me just fine today. But we have a lot of equipment that we have yet to be able to get to work, and I'm trying to get any of you OSU college students out there in Stillwater, right down the road from me. I'll pay you well if you know how to set all this stuff up. Just get hold of me at slameshow@gmail.com. Like I said, we'll have on Michael Shepard here in a little bit as well, and to talk about some of the great artwork and some sports type artwork too. I mean, like um, the horses and things like that they do. That the artwork's just absolutely incredible, absolutely incredible. Um, See, Jason says I'll leave my phone number in your DMs, and we'll get online and share the screen to set up some of it at least. Yeah, would love to, man. Would love to. I've been fighting these allergies. I hope nobody else has. Just see my eyes. Ooh, you must look into my eyes. I'm kind of goofy today. That's what allergy medicine does that to you. Makes you goofy. And I'm definitely goofy. Okay. Uh, Told you about some of our sponsors. Want to tell you too about Insignia wearing the hat. Of course, Karen Johnson, Karen at Key Largo. Get hold of her on YouTube, not YouTube, Twitter, X. Get hold of Karen. Tell her you listen to the show. Tell her you need uniforms, you need shirts, whatever your favorite college team, pro team is. She has the license to do it, so she can do that for you too. So good stuff. Of course, Alan Cashman, you see him every Friday here on the show giving you winners. And yeah, and of course, Helping Hands, Ray of Sunshine. They'll help mom, dad stay at home like they want to. You might not be able to be there because you live in another town, another state, other part of the country. Mom and dad want to stay home. They want to stay in the home they built, raise their families in, and the only way to do that is have a little help. And Helping Hands, Ray of Sunshine can do that for you. And we'll have all those phone numbers, emails, contact information of all of our sponsors. We're putting together a big page for all that as well. And hopefully, here in just a little bit, we'll have Treasure Investment Corporation calling in with Michael Shepard, and that'll be good stuff. Yeah, kind of excited to see, not tomorrow, but Wednesday, I think thunderstorm's supposed to roll in and it'll be a lot cooler outside. So definitely looking forward to that. And Michael Shepard joins us right now. And how you doing, Michael?
I'm blessed more than I deserve, that's for sure.
Well, good to have you on for the first of many times, we hope. And hey, let's talk about TIC a little bit because uh, I've been talking to some friends who are in the Cowboy Hall of Fame, and they're pretty excited about it. So I'm going to set you up with them. But let's talk a little bit about what you do and what TIC does for everybody.
Well, a little background. I helped start this company back in 1998 while I was doing financial seminars for estate planning attorneys. And the founder of the company, Mark Russo, and I put together a company that did auctions all over America, live auctions, using Gilieri sculptures. And we've raised well in excess of $50 million for charities. And then about 5 years ago, Mark called me and asked if I could help prepare the company to go public or prepare it for sale. And I got permission from my board of directors, as I'm also chairman of the board and CEO of Nevada Mining Company. So Mark said yes, the director said yes. Did my first trade show January of 18, Safari Club International. And of all the things I've ever done in my career, and I've been investing since I was 10 years old, and I'm 78 now, this is the most exciting, the most rewarding financially, and I'm having the most fun. So what we do now, we have 5 different profit centers. Of course, the foundational charity division, but now we're on, if any of your listeners or yourself have gone on cruises the last 2 years, we're on 104 cruise ships in 52 countries with 6 different Gilieri sculptures. You know the company has Park West Galleries, the world's largest art dealer. They're our number one client. We also do monuments for golf courses, hotels. If you go to Black Rock Country Club, you'll see 26 of our sculptures. If you go to Doral Country Club, we recently presented to President Trump the world's first life-size eagle, and that is at Doral. If you go to Mar-a-Lago, you will see as you enter the foyer uh, the Presidential American Patriot, which is bronze, but we overlaid it with 5 ounces of gold because we know what Trump likes. So that gives you just a taste of what investors would be investing in. Of all the things I've done, not only was this the most fun, but even during COVID, I went to Florence, Italy, and negotiated our first international agreement with Ferdinando Marinelli. And we now have created the world's first, last, and only Michelangelo's Pietà in 20,333 ounces. Now we've done the Battle of the Centaurs, also by Michelangelo, the only piece that he did non-commissioned for himself privately, which sits at his home, Casa Barante, in Florence, Italy today. And then our third pure silver piece was Apollonius Belvedere Torso. And interesting that we're doing this call today because just last week we received the posthumous original red waxes directly from the Vatican collection. And we have just started process creating in our foundry, again, the first, the last, and only Michelangelo's David. 60,000 ounces and the world's largest piece in precious metal. We can
Michael,
also do all 72 Vatican pieces, unbelievably, not only in pure silver, but pure gold and pure platinum. Can you imagine? Here I am, 78 years old, and I'm doing this. It's phenomenal. And I want to share. It's like I found a pearl of great price, and I want to share it with as many investors as I can. I know that's a long answer, but hopefully that answers it well for you.
no, that's a great answer. And when you say red wax, I assume it's like for casting later on, right?
Well, it is. What actually it is, in 1932, Pope Pius XII sensed that World War was coming. And so he sought out the best foundry in the world at that time, and it was Ferdinando Marinelli's grandfather's foundry of the same name. And secretly, they hired Ferdinando to come in and take plaster Paris posthumous originals of the entire Vatican collection, just in case any were stolen or damaged. And they weren't, but still in secret, Ferdinando had this. We discovered this. We partnered with him. And now that's what happens. You take that original master mold and then you do a posthumous original red wax. And that's what we use to pour in, not in bronze because they do bronze, not in marble because they do marble. We're partners. So we can do it what they cannot do, precious metal.
Michael, talk a little bit about some of the folks. I know you mentioned President Trump already. President Reagan, I believe, has some artwork also in his library. Is that true? I know President
It
Reagan
is.
at one time. Yeah, you mentioned.
But even greater, Lorenzo Guillieri was only in his 20s when the United States of America commissioned Lorenzo to do the coronation art piece, which still sits in Buckingham Palace for Queen Elizabeth. Now, Lorenzo died about 2.5 years ago. You know, Queen Elizabeth passed away as well. So they're probably still talking about it. But from our point of view, um, we then did a piece, Lorenzo, when on the eve of President Reagan's inauguration, he did a special official American bald eagle for President Reagan. And we have now, of course, the original letter that President Reagan wrote as a thank you and appreciation. And we framed that and then we duplicate that with the same piece that is in the White House collection. And we do that in a limited edition, I think 99. And we do it in bronze with silver beak on the eagle and silver tail feathers. And then we also do it, which that's about, I don't know, 50 ounces of pure silver. And now we also do a limited edition piece in all silver, which is about 550 to 600 ounces of 0.99 silver.
Michael, if somebody was watching right now and they go, man, I would love to have that piece on my desk in my office, or maybe when somebody walks in our business, it's the first thing they see. How would they get hold of you?
Thank you for asking. As Director of Investor Relations as well, they would call me directly, 615 400 1099, and or email me my full name, Michael Shepard, MICHAEL SHEPPARD at Comcast.net. And if I have their email, I will send them a complete video presentation, which lasts about 23 minutes long. I believe you've seen that as well, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. Matter of fact, we set this up last week, Michael. I think I saw every video you've got on YouTube right now.
Thank you. That took a long time. That's a
Not
labor of
really.
love.
It was so interesting though, and like I said when I first saw it, as I mentioned to you, Cowboy Hall of Fame was just a natural because you do so much Western art, and they buy a lot of Western art as well. So
Well, you betcha. Um, as we discussed, and for your listening audience, um, in North Dakota is another Cowboy Hall of Fame. And one of our big investors, Roger Minch, attorney in the Dakotas, he has invested in the company. And one of the coolest things about Treasure Investments is that you can come in at 10,000, but if you invest or get to the level over time of 50,000, you can match your entire investment. It's like, I don't mean to say it because it cheapens it, buy one, get one free, but you can match dollar for dollar. If you invest $100,000, you then can pick $100,000 of art. Well, he started out at a couple 100,000, and he now has, I think, 26 pieces in the Cowboy Hall of Fame in North Dakota, which is just the coolest thing ever. And of course, we would love to do the same thing um, in Oklahoma.
absolutely, and those of you listening, of course, can get hold. The great thing I love about the podcast, as opposed to just the radio, I don't know how many times I've been driving down the road and somebody will get their phone number or email out, and you can't reverse radio. You can't, rewind it or whatever. This, you're watching it right now and you didn't get the number, you didn't get something you wanted to, you just revert, rewind it. You listen to everything Michael has to say all over again. Good stuff. Now you're based in Nashville, right? And I know we've got a lot of Tennessee fans as well out that way, but you're originally from Ohio. But you spend a lot of time in Vegas. Talk about some of the shows that you'll be doing, because I know we've got a lot of folks that listen that have their own businesses that travel, maybe even travel some of the same shows you're going to. Uh, where are some of the shows you're going to maybe coming up? If I'm not putting you on the spot too much, and let them know so they can meet up with you.
Well, I'm probably one of the few people here in Nashville that cannot sing worth a dime, nor can I write. But we have someone in the family, as you know, who we just previewed a movie, Fred Birch, and he's written 348 songs for Elvis, Patsy Cline, Perry Como. And I just got off the golf course with Fred, and Fred is 91 years old. Can you imagine?
Wow.
So I like to rub shoulders with him.
Only 3 years
But
older than me.
the trade shows that we do are mostly investment shows like the Money Show in Vegas, Freedom Fest, the world's largest gathering of free thinkers. Matter of fact, Steve Forbes, Mark Russo, and myself unveiled the Silver Pietà um, a year ago in Vegas. And then in July, we unveiled Michelangelo's Battle of the Centaurs. And Lord willing, by July of next year in Vegas at Freedom Fest, we'll unveil Michelangelo's David. We also doing a show in New Orleans first week in November, the New Orleans Investment Show. And then in January, we do the Barrett Jackson auction in Scottsdale. And we also do Safari Club International. And that last year, for the first time, it was held here in Nashville, and they absolutely set records. So it's amazing. We sell artwork at half price, we sell shares at half price, and that's the place to get the best deal ever. But because, for the sake of disclosure, your family, and if you introduce us to people and they go through you, they will get, I'll put it in writing, the friends and family discount,
You hear
which is
that, folks?
50% off.
So you hear that, folks? Get hold of me first, and then I'll get hold of Michael, right?
You betcha. But even if they get hold of me directly, just let me know that this is how we met. Obviously, you'll do that because you have a high incentive to do that. The other thing is that for qualified investors who are introduced to me from my nephew, then what
I
we'll do for
I
you.
am his nephew, by the way. I haven't told everybody that secret yet, so.
Oh, sorry, but
No, that's
now you
okay.
know the absolute truth, and that's all you'll ever get from me. But we will personally not only invite you to fly into Portland, Oregon, but pick you up, wine and dine you, pay 2 first-class tickets, nice hotel. You'll have the fun of your life and education, because you'll get to visit one of our foundries. You'll get to visit, private appointment only, our museum, and you will see up front and personally all what I'm talking about and all what you'll see in the video.
Very good. And folks want to get hold of you once again, information. And of course, the great thing about podcasting is it's there. So if you missed it when you get home, you just reverse it and listen, whatever. But go ahead and give your contact information again, Michael.
You betcha. Email is Michael Shepard at Comcast.net, Michael, one word, Sheppard at Comcast.net. My personal number, cell phone, 615 400 1099.
And folks, get hold of Michael definitely, and he'll walk you through all this. Also, their YouTube stuff is really cool. So just remember Treasure Investments Corporation, and when you get on YouTube, you're already on YouTube, obviously watching this, so it goes right into it. But go check out all the artwork they've got. It's just incredible. And by the way, I was going to ask if folks out there, do we have a slight resemblance? Do we, do we look like we were separated at birth? I years ago, some of you know that have been following the show forever and ever when we were on radio and whatnot. I was adopted as a baby. I found my biological mother, and she just happened to have a terrific younger brother in Nashville, and met Michael that way. And now I know where I got all my business acumen, right? So, good stuff. But
Well, I know, young feller, you are blessed much more than you deserve. That's for sure.
that is definitely the truth, and we look forward to having you on every Monday, talking about you every day on the show, of course, and to let folks know. But yeah, get hold of Michael, and tell you what, would be a really cool Christmas present for somebody too, as well. And once again, there's so many win-win situations on the whole thing with the company. And get hold of Michael, tell him you saw him on the show, and we'll have him on every Monday to answer your questions as well if you have any. Michael, good having you on.
Blessings upon you, my brother.
Appreciate you too.
You know that you are much loved.
You are too, my friend, and my uncle. It's funny when you don't know for like 57 years you have an uncle, and you do. It's almost hard calling you uncle sometimes, but I really do enjoy calling you uncle. And you're a great guy, and hope you can help out a lot of folks. And give my best to the family.
I love you, man.
Love you too. Michael Shepard, and of course, Treasure Investment Corporation. Good stuff. And look forward to having him on every single Monday. And got a couple folks here texting as well. And we'll see what they have to say. Greg, how sure are you on the Clemson thing? Well, as sure as I was with Florida State, and I still am, they're going to get out. And here's why. Think about this. Okay, you're Florida State. You've won a national championship recently. What was that? Jameis Winston, right? That's your national championship. So we remember it. When's the last time Florida won one? Well, it was before that. They did win back to back. Oh, in the early 2000s. UCF, they can argue that was a championship, but whatever. My point is this: Florida or Florida State has to be upset. They're winning the championships. They're 1 to 2 carrying that conference, and they're making less money than UCF and the University of Florida and the University. Well, they're making the same as Miami. Miami just got qualified academically for AAU, so they're probably out as well. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I will say this: I think Florida State and Clemson, North Carolina, probably Virginia, a few others, they're out of there. The Super Seven, the Magnificent Seven, whatever you want to call them, they're out. They're out. They, especially Florida State and Clemson, cannot afford to stay in that conference. If they're going to want to compete at the highest level, they can't. They're making less than pretty much every P5 out there, right? Can't do it. Can't do it. Hey, that's going to do it. I want to thank Michael Shepard, Treasure Investments Corporation. I want to thank all of our great sponsors. Of course, the level Karen Johnson with Insignia. You see the hat. And she does all our hats, t-shirts, uniforms, everything for us. Get hold of her at Karen Key Largo on Twitter. Scott Hammer at Cruise Planners. He does all of our vacations. Helping Hands Raise Sunshine. Mark and Cindy Welch help mom and dad stay in their homes longer. Alan Cashman, thecashmanwins.com. Hey, go check out his packages. He will help you win for very little money. And of course, DoorDash and Wendy's are corporate sponsors. That's going to do it. We will be back tomorrow. And yeah, I can't, I'm going to kind of hold what we've got till tomorrow. Going to hold it. That's going to do it.